April 2000 over 120% on the first day, and the IPO was oversubscribed 167 times. Malaysia has many successful IPOs, and so does Hong Kong, where you can double your wealth through IPO subscriptions. In 2021, Kuaishou Technology, China's leading short-form video app platform, rose over 160% on the first day of listing. The stock prices of Morimatsu International Holding Company Limited and New Horizon Health Limited gained over 250 and 200% respectively on their first day. If you're an investor looking to expand your investing horizons, then the Hong Kong IPO market is the perfect opportunity for you. M+ Global would like to be the first to offer you the opportunity to invest in global IPOs. The Hong Kong market's large number of IPOs and listed companies have a global competitive advantage. In 2022, there were 84 IPOs listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, raising close to 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. Many well-known internet companies, often referred to as China's Mama, comprising of Baidu, Ali, Tencent, JD.com, also collectively known as BATJ, have all been listed in Hong Kong. In addition, Asian top players in the fields of biomedicine, AI, and new materials have also become highly sought-after IPOs in the Hong Kong market in recent years. Due to the market rebound and the introduction of the Hong Kong Renminbi dual counter model, the number of new stocks listed in the first half of 2023 increased about 30% compared to the first half of 2022. Top companies such as JT Express, Alibaba Cloud, and Cainiao are soon planning to be listed on the Hong Kong Exchange. These are great IPO opportunities that you can't miss. According to Deloitte, the number of Hong Kong IPOs in 2023 is predicted to surpass that of 2022 and reach 100. Plus, with the policy of prioritizing one lot per household in the allocation of Hong Kong IPO subscriptions, the average success rate for allotments exceeded 40% in 2022. With this high allotment ratio, do you feel more confident about investing in Hong Kong IPOs? Well, you're in luck. M+ Global offers an IPO financing plan. The financing leverage and quota available for each IPO may vary. Please refer to the instructions on the subscription page for details. Tap Markets to enter the IPO tab, select your desired company and the quantity you wish to subscribe to, and you can be a part of the IPO with just one click. M+ Global helps you to get on the fast track to investment. To see more videos from M+ Global, subscribe to our YouTube channel today. M+ Global, winning the world. Have you
talk a little bit more on the IPO frenzy that has been going on in Hong Kong and also in Bursa Malaysia as well. And of course, we have seen some activities picking up for the past couple of months, rather whether it is in Hong Kong or in Malaysia as well. So it is definitely there are some investment opportunity that I think that the retail investor here can take advantage of. And I guess, what do you think about some of the market sentiment recently on the Bursa and Hong Kong as well here, Loui?
Yeah, I think Nick, thank you for welcoming me to this IPO frenzy topic, and I'm really excited to talk about this IPO frenzy because I think in the past few quarters or even past few weeks, market has not been treating us too well in the Hong Kong markets, especially when Hang Seng Index is actually dropping quite strongly. If you notice this chart here, it says that during this period of time, since February of this year, it has actually been dropping all the way from the 22,000 above level, and right now it's near towards the 17,000 level.
I think also that Hang Seng has been quite slow for the past year due to some of the property fiasco.
Yes,
and
exactly.
also especially the Chinese policy here is not so rosy that affect the Hang Seng market as a whole here. And I guess, but despite all this despite all this sentiment, bad sentiment on the Hong Kong market, I think Hang Seng, there are still a couple of opportunity here on the market itself, especially on the primary market, and we are talking here is IPO.
Yeah, I think a lot of measures has been actually put in for the supporting the Hang Seng market, but perhaps there is some little spike here and there, but it's not sustainable. But coming back to Malaysia itself, we are also having the same kind of trend, sideways ranging mode. Resistance is at 1465, support is at 1425, but it is not really that easy to trade in a stock market. But
especially when it's ranging.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look into IPO markets, it has been very exciting and so vibrant. And if we notice this trend here, maybe we can talk about some of Nick. You can talk about some of these performances in the IPO market, because I see that the market sentiment is not really great.
Okay.
Normally people will pull away from the IPO market as well. Okay. But let's see. Maybe Nick can show us some of the past performances. See whether is it profitable in the IPO areas, or whether is it how should we engage in this IPO market.
Definitely, and of course, let's look at some of the top Malaysia IPO here. And of course, this year Bursa has been going on. I think there's about 30 company listed so far. 30. And yes, this is just 5 to 6 companies here, and they are the top performer in the Malaysia IPO market. And of course, we have Opstar here, Daytrade, and Autotown.com. And actually, Autotown.com was listed I think in August, if not mistaken. And on the following slide here, we can actually see that among all the companies here, I think about 60% here is in the green on the first day of trading, on the first day on the market day, on the first listing day, on the market debut. So actually, there are still a lot of interest, particularly in the IPO markets for Malaysia as well. And it is good to see that the interest has finally come back to the IPO market once again after the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
Because I think during the COVID pandemic, there's not much of IPO activity going on. I think that year we only had about 10 companies. So
yeah, and perhaps everyone is looking at just the glove runs during COVID, right?
Those was the narrative back then, but it's good to see the interest has finally come back to Bursa Malaysia IPO primary listing as well, primary markets. And of course...
So what do you think about the Hong Kong market, Hong Kong IPO market?
Actually, Hong Kong IPO market has slowed down a lot due to much more lagging market sentiment here. But actually, there are still a lot of IPO in the pipeline. And let me give you an example here. For the past 11 stocks that was recently listed on the Hong Kong exchange, 8 of them is actually positive, and 3 of them is actually trading flat. So if you get an allotment for every stock that was listed the past 2 to 3 months, actually you will make a handsome profit from there as well. And of course, last time when we were in this live together, we talked about JNT.
Yes.
Although JNT didn't perform on the first day, but eventually, I think a week later, it actually gained about a good 6 to 7%. Yes. So you actually made money out of it as well.
Yep. So I think in the IPO markets is quite vibrant. Despite the amount of listing companies are lower as compared to last year. Correct. I think last year it has about 90 plus companies in the Hong Kong, but this year it will be around 60 plus companies.
Yeah.
Overall, the recent performance has been quite good, so I think this momentum can sustain. So maybe we can share with you some of the companies later on to talk about what are the companies that is exciting to join in, and also what are the features that we are offering for you to actually participate in this IPO.
And actually, we have an IPO last 2 weeks ago. It's called Wuxi, and Wuxi actually oversubscribed by I think almost 50 times here. And of course, we will touch about that later on, so no worry on that. Actually, it debuted really handsomely on the market, which gave us about like 30-35% on the first trading day. And right now, today, we have actually 4 IPO doing offering right now as we're speaking, and some of them are going to be expired by tomorrow morning. And we have 4 IPO here, which is Carecash, Shenghui Cleaners, Sino Synergy, and Deccan Food. And of course, we are going to go through a few here with Loui.
Yep.
And first one I think we are going to talk about, which is Sino Synergy here. And of course, Sino Synergy is one of the top player in the hydrogen fuel cell industry, and they hold the largest market share in hydrogen fuel cell stack shipment here in China. Also interesting to see that it's actually not small company. Upon listing, they will get about like 10 billion in market cap. And let's see some of the IPO proceed. They will use some of the proceed here to undergo some R&D and also product capacity over here. And I want to ask Loui here, what do you think about this company as a general on paper?
I think for the company itself, it is doing the hydrogen fuel cell. It is in the industry, and that is a very strong market going forward. Why do I say so? Is because currently a lot of people are using renewable energy, and one of them is actually hydrogen fuel cell. I think in Sarawak itself, they have been starting to use on buses, and that is getting a lot of attention. And in some of the meetings with Rafizi Ramli this year itself, there are a lot of talks about this energy transition roadmap that touches on this hydrogen fuel cell. So we can understand that in developed market or developing countries, they are actually trying to penetrate into this area, whereby they might not want to rely just on EV cars, but they might want to rely on hydrogen fuel cell cars going forward. So I believe that there is a lot of abundance of opportunities in this renewable energy. But one thing I think I realized that they are using a lot of cash for this R&D.
Yeah.
So if you ask me on the business side, I would think that maybe I rank, maybe 3 out of 5 stars for the business direction. But if you ask me about whether they have earnings capability, perhaps I think
Too early to tell?
Yeah, too early to tell. And also because of R&D, you need a lot of cash to build a decent kind of maybe a value chain or the manufacturing position in this. And therefore, the earnings will be much lower than what we anticipate. So currently, I think they are not really making money. So that's why if we are ranking based on the earnings capability, perhaps I would give maybe 1.5 to 2 stars out of 5 stars for this one.
Okay, 1.5 to 2 star, but overall it will be a 3-star rating for Sino Synergy here.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that you must, buy into this company, or you must. I'm not saying that you definitely want to look into this company, but again, they have potential. Yeah,
forward-looking market is always
forward-looking. Yes, that's right.
I mean, like Tesla in these early days during the R&D process, they are burning cash as well, and now they are one of the biggest company in the world. Of course, this is an apple and orange comparison here, because Sino Synergy is doing something like renewable energy and green energy, and of course the application is not that expanded for the time being, not so much industry that can cover. So this is definitely something new.
And also they are using in the buses and also heavy duty trucks. So basically when you are, using a hydrogen fuel cell on things that are larger, you may need to refine your hydrogen fuel cell to cater for a very heavy transportation unit. So that's why that is also another thing that they need to consider as well.
Yep. Thank you for your insight here, Loui. And the next one we will look into will be K-Cash, and I think this is much more straightforward business. And it is, I think K-Cash is one of the largest financing company in Hong Kong. It's actually the 4th largest licensed money lender in Hong Kong. I think some that help them to expand their business will be their involvement in the fintech and also the use of blockchain, cloud computing. That is what helped to expand their business to be such size as of today. I think for the past 3 to 4 years, their revenue actually doubled over the past few years, and I think we can see that some of the proceed they are getting from this IPO is going to the brand promotion and also marketing. Although the market cap upon listing here is slightly smaller, about $1 billion Hong Kong dollar, but hey, it's always about sizes, isn't it?
Yep.
And I think this is actually much more popular compared to the few that was being offered right now. I think this is oversubscribed by about 3 to 4 times right now. And we are going to show you a a feature on our app that can allow you to see all this data, whether they are oversubscribed, how much it is, where to see their prospectus, and this definitely help our user in finding out more information regarding on this particular offering here.
Yep. So I think K-Cash is very interesting because we can actually relate it back to RC capital in our stock market.
Yep.
And especially when you're doing microfinancing, SME loans and all this, it's very interesting because people need working capital. So they want to get some money from these lenders. So they are the fourth largest licensed money lender in Hong Kong. In 2022, that market research shows that they are quite big and quite sizable in that sense. And therefore, if you are looking into this company, you might want to look into like RC Capital. So how they make money is that they lend you some money, they get higher interest than what they are taking from bank, and that is how they make money.
I mean, like with now the interest rate is still high, I think that's actually helped towards their profit margin for the time being. And I think it's a very good company to look into. And yep, K-Cash, what do you give a rating for?
I think based on the business direction, I think it should be quite interesting to look at about 3 to 4 stars. And also their earnings capability is quite interesting as well. They are in a profitable region.
Yep.
So that's why I see that there is opportunity when if we look into IPO, we definitely want to look at something that is profitable. So this fulfills the criteria. So it's also 3 to 4 stars. So I
Much more solid, on paper.
Yeah, much more solid on paper. Therefore, I will rank this company as a 4.
4 star.
4 star out of 5 stars. So I think one of the main criteria I'll use is definitely the profitability. If they are actually making money, that is where we want to try to
Pay attention on it.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and of course we have one more company here to cover, which is Shenhui Cleaners here, and very interesting company. They are actually in the cleaning and environmental service industry, and upon listing there will be around 5 to 600 million Hong Kong dollar, and of course some of the IPO proceeds will be going to brand promotion, marketing, and also business development. And this actually reminds me of a company in Malaysia, which is, I think everyone knows that, which is Alam Flora.
Yep.
I think Alam Flora was really huge cleaning. They are in the cleaning industry. And I think what we don't realize is every community needs this kind of cleaning services to, once person trash is another person treasure.
Yes,
while
exactly.
you are cleaning the community as well, it's actually generate profit from the company, which is very interesting. I think, do you want to add a little bit on that, Loui?
Yeah, I think for these cleaning services companies, I first of all, like Nick said, we always think about Alam Flora, and Alam Flora is actually very profitable business because, like Nick said, one person trash is another person's treasure. So in this scenario, they're actually helping you to solve the situation whereby you throw the trash outside your house, but the people that is clean up for you, you need to pay them to clean your trash. So I think this company is also profitable, and I think if I want to rank this company, perhaps it is also about 3 to 4 stars rating for this company, and especially when they have the net profit margin of about 8.8% in 2022, and also they are very established market leader and also diversified customer base, so they don't rely on a single customer, and that is where the beauty about it. Everyone needs to throw trash, but it is a treasure.
It's an essential part to the community, as
Correct.
I think where every community needs a company that do service like this.
Yep.
I think every country has this as well, but Shenhui is one of it in Hong Kong. And without a doubt, it's not the only company, but it will be a company to look at during this IPO offering period here. So, okay, today we have 4 here, actually. We have Sino, we have Sino Synergy, we have K-Cash, Shenhui Cleaners, and Deccan Food. And of course, we are not going to cover Deccan Food here, but you can always find the prospectus and also some of the more information on our M Plus Global app here. And yes, thanks for putting up the screen here, Loui. These are some of the IPO, which is live right now.
So just to summarize the IPO offering right now, we have 4 companies. One is K-Cash, Shenhui, Synergy, Decon Food. I would really put more attention towards Senghui Cleaners, if you ask me.
Yep.
And also we can look into K Cash because I think K Cash and also Senghui, they are under profitable region, and therefore we will want to pay more attention. And I think if we look through it, we are also seeing some Decon Food, which is poultry and meat.
Yep.
I think this sector is very interesting. Recently, you know, we have Teo Seng, and also Lei Hong, and also Leong Hap. All these companies are actually making profitable, very strong profits. Why is it so in Malaysia? And can that be replicated in Decon Food? I think that is one thing we have to take note. And when Teo Seng is very strong in terms of earnings, it is exciting to look at Decon. But Decon Food is not profitable yet. So it is having inconsistency in the in this industry, and therefore I would rather, you know, if we have just one portion of money or two portion of money, I would perhaps use maybe in this
K
Cash and also Senghui. Yeah,
Definitely. Agree.
So I think the profitability is very important. So that is just my view on how I look at things in these four offerings. And the offering will be ending tomorrow morning, I think, by another 18 hours.
Yeah, it will be around tomorrow. So you still have time to choose which offering to subscribe to.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best on getting allotted here.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, we will touch a little bit on this margin financing here on IPO margin financing, and this feature is actually only in Hong Kong so far. We don't have it in the US, we don't have it on the Bursa Malaysia, but only Hong Kong. And let me give you a very good example of this, how margin financing actually benefits you while you subscribing to all this IPO offering. So with this share of WUSI XDC, actually it was listed about like last 2 weeks. Listing date was 17, so it was like 2 weeks ago, and actually it was a very heavily subscribed IPO at about 50 times oversubscribed. So the one lot success rate is only 13%. For example, if you look on the right of the screen, if you subscribe just one lot, you actually wouldn't get any of the allotted share here, because the guaranteed one lot size is actually 8 lots. So, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Nick?
So, if you subscribe 8 lots or 10 lots or 12 lots, you will get at least 1 lot of share.
Okay.
Okay. So the meaning here is the more you actually subscribe to, the higher chance you actually get allotted for at least 1 lot.
So if I subscribe 1 lot, maybe the chance is almost like zero.
Almost zero, I would say that.
Okay.
And how margin financing helps here actually is, if you have just one portion of cash, you can actually leverage your cash to allow yourself to subscribe to more share. But it doesn't mean that you get all of the share, isn't it?
Yeah. So in this scenario, is like we are having one portion of cake, but the subscription rate is about 50 times.
Yup.
So which means that there are, 50 people that is wanting this cake. I mean, I give you a layman example.
Yeah.
And if you are using margin financing, you are using about let's say 20K to subscribe to this, but you wouldn't get anything because it will be around 2 lots that you are subscribing, because entry price is 10K Hong Kong dollar.
Correct.
And if you have 20K, you are just putting 2 lot into it. You're just applying for 2 lots.
Correct. And the guaranteed 1 lot size here is actually 8 lots. 8 to 1. So you have to subscribe a minimum of 8 to be able to get just 1 lot.
Yeah, about 80,000 Hong Kong dollar. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually that's quite a lot of money for most people here. But don't worry, what it usually happens here with the popular IPOs is always have an allotment rate of just around 10%. So if you subscribe like 80K here, you will get about what we are getting, about like 7,000-8,000 Hong Kong dollar, which is quite reasonable.
Yeah.
So it is still within your risk profile, if you ask me. And of course, if you use like 80K, you won't actually get like 80K
of amount
or
of shares.
100K Hong Kong dollar of IPO share. This is a really huge misconception among the public here.
Yes,
That is why they are afraid to use some of the margin financing feature. on M Plus Global.
So I think it put into layman terms, if I have 20K Hong Kong dollar, if the margin financing can allow me for four times, let's say 4 times.
Okay.
So I will get 80K of money to use to subscribe to it. But end up I'm only getting one lot. So which means you are getting just 10K of shares. So which means that when you put in 20K of cash inside, you are only getting 10K of shares ultimately. So it is still within your risk profile. So I think the margin financing concept here is it really helps the investors
to get a higher chance of allotment here.
Because it's actually 50 people that is wanting the cake, you know. So you'll be getting a very, very small piece from that cake itself. So end up, like I say, if you put in 20K, you get 80K of Hong Kong dollar to subscribe to it, but end up you only get about 10K of shares.
Correct, correct. And that applies for Wuxi here, which we can see the one lot success rate is about 13%, which didn't run too far from our 10%. So it makes sense for us to use margin financing to improve our chances here to get allotted. And
the best part of it is actually this company is oversubscribed by 50 times, and the first day listing is up by 30 to 40%.
35% if I'm not mistaken. And of course, this was a very hype up company because the mother company is actually spinning off the subsidiary here. So a lot of value. And of course, I'm going to show you some of the popular IPO that you might bump into with this kind of scenario here. Let's look at, and if you are familiar with a couple of this stock, let me just touch on like Kuaishou. Kuaishou is actually the competitor to TikTok, and it was crazy hype up during the IPO process, and the success rate is actually 4%. 4%, which means you have to subscribe 500 lots in order to get just one lot. Without margin financing, I don't think anyone could able to get a hand on at least any share of it as well. Aside that, of course, we have to touch on the last stock here, Star CM here. Star CM is actually a Jay Chow concept stock, which is, they actually sell instant coffee, but with the branding of Jay Chow and all this has become a very hype up stock. But you see there, the one lot success rate is actually 40%. And in order to get one lot, you just have to subscribe 4 lots over here. So it's still reasonable. Depends how hype up is the share and how you want to use the margin financing to put it in your advantage over here.
And also I think need to also highlight on this. Oversubscription rate is also very important when things are hype up, like for instance this scenario of about 4 times in Star CM, right?
Correct.
And the first day of listing, it is already getting about 70% return. So I'm just giving an idea that oversubscribe, it shows that a lot of people is
very high demand.
High demand. So when it is high demand, likely, I'm not saying 100% they will move higher on the first day of listing, but very likely they will be higher on the first day of listing. So that is just to show you when you have that information, oversubscription rate, if it is above 5 times, 10 times, or even towards 50 times, like Wuxi XDC. So that is where you want to...
That's a sign.
That is a sign.
That's a sign where you should really jump into it. And I think we have this feature on M Plus Global. I will show everyone how to read it through the app later on. And before we go towards the next step, I think we need to talk a little bit on FINI, right?
FINI,
the fast interface for new issuance. This is actually a new feature on Hong Kong Exchange. It's actually shortened the settlement cycle from 5 days to 2 days, which means when the application closes for the IPO, it actually takes just 2 days for the stock to be listed. So what does that mean here is, if you use margin financing during this period of time, you actually pay less in terms of margin financing fee. And also this means lower cost of subscription to all of you who use margin financing for your IPO offering. And I think it's a very fantastic way to benefit the retail investor and also stabilize the market as well. So we don't want to have too much margin on the market itself. And
I think this is a very good part of savings for the retailers or investors, because when you are saying that you borrow the money, then you put it into application, you need 5 days, so they will be charging 5 days of interest. But right now it is back 2 days, and you are saving about 60% of the costs for your interest Therefore, I think it is a good savings for the investors, and it should be a beneficiary, towards the
It's also
investor.
much more efficient for the
Yeah.
Hong Kong Stock Exchange to list all their shares within 2 days upon closing. So I think it's a good news after so many years.
Yep.
Right. And of course, we are going to talk quite a little bit on Hong Kong market so far. And of course, Loui here is our Malaysia market expert, Bursa King. So,
Yeah.
I would like to hear some of your insights on what do you think about Malaysia IPO, what do you think about Malaysia market so far with the budget 2024 going in.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have Panda here.
Yeah, I think Bursa Malaysia latest IPO has been a very interesting journey. Overall, you can see that just now we have showed you about the Opstar, we have showed you about the Auto Count, and LTAG, and all Cape EMS. All that is very happening throughout this period of time. Despite, KLCI is also at a very low end or sideways kind of ranging market. So one thing is that recently the hype has been coming back, and you can see that Panda ecosystem here has been quite interesting in terms of their share price, and also they are just listing at 16 cents. And the one signal that is very exciting is that it has been oversubscribed by 153 times, and therefore that is a very significant sign that this is very likely
Very high demand
Yeah.
due to the popularity of this stock. And I think it popped quite a little bit on the first day, I think about 80%. Yeah?
Yeah, 81%,
81%.
29-cent opening, which is yesterday.
Yep.
And
A big congrats to everyone who got this share yesterday.
exactly.
We didn't get it, of course. And
Yeah.
I think there is another IPO in the pipeline here, which
Yes.
is Critical Holding.
Yes.
Louis, you want to share about it?
Yeah, I think Critical Holdings is something like KGB Resources.
Kellington Group?
Kellington Group, yes. And this is one of the companies that recently a lot of traders are looking at strong upside potential, because the margins have actually recovered. Margin has actually increased, strongly. So Critical Holdings, Berhad, is also similar to KGB, which they built and also they construct the plant rooms, clean rooms, and also data centers for a particular segment called the semiconductor, pharmaceutical, and also telcos. So basically, what we can see from here is that they are also having the utilization rate using into expanding of their sales and technical team, capital expenditure, and also new regional offices. So we see that this company could actually replicate what has happened in this KGB, and therefore Critical Holdings could be one of the companies that you might want to look into as well. Although there might be some opportunities. I mean, we might be looking at some opportunities here, but the upside might not be as exciting as Panda. The reason being, their margins is still below 10%. Which is a contractor's margin. So which means that although they are tied to tech semiconductor as a proxy, but they are actually having a slightly lower margins business. So that is one thing that I have to caution you about. Then second thing is that they are trading at 13.5 times PE, which is quite similar. I mean, quite fairly valued at this range.
Okay.
Even the upside maybe around
10%?
15 times or 16 times. It'll be 10 to 15 times only. So the excitement of this may not be exciting as Panda.
Yeah.
So it depends also on the oversubscription rate. So let's look out on how much subscribers are subscribing to it going forward. But I would say that this is interesting, but the upside might be not so much.
Yeah, and also if you notice here, for Bursa Malaysia, the subscription rate will always be announced after the application is closed. So there's no any way that you can find out how much is the subscription rate. That is the difference between Hong Kong and Malaysia IPO here, where Hong Kong during the offering period, you can actually see how heavily subscribed or how undersubscribed it is, so you can have a better idea on how the IPO is actually doing so far. And of course, we have one more Bursa share to look forward to, which is Keyfields International.
Okay, Keyfield International, Berhad, is actually related to oil and gas sector, and they are one of the largest in the vessel chartering. I mean, right now we only have Yinsen and Bumi Armada. that is having this kind of peers to compare.
Are you saying this business segment is similar?
Yes, they are the offshore,
Chartering service?
Yeah, chartering service, and they are the so-called support and services for the oil and gas sector.
Interesting.
So I think we are not too sure what is the IPO, being priced at yet, and also we are not too sure how expensive it is in terms of PE. But they are in the Yinsen and also Armada's, kind of segment, and therefore
I think this will be one of the IPO to look forward to in 2024 if they ever got all the green light for IPO. And of course, these are some of the shares of Bursa that Loui are sharing with us today. And of course, back to Hong Kong IPO here. Actually, this year, I think during the first quarter to the third quarter, we have about 40 plus company listing on the IPO. But at the fourth quarter here, we have actually 12 companies. So it brings us to a total about 50 plus companies so far.
Yep.
And actually, there's 99 companies queuing up to get all the green light from Hong Kong Exchange to get listed. And these are some of the company we actually planning to, these are some of the company planning to be listed. Some are rumored, but let's go into it, shall we?
Yeah, I think can.
And of course, the first one will be on our top right here, which will be, of course, the Didi Choosing. Didi Choosing is actually the same business model as Uber, as Grab, but it was actually listed back in 2020 in the US market. And right now they are looking for an IPO offering in Hong Kong yet again.
Yep.
And of course, Didi Choosing covers all the China markets and the Hong Kong market as well. So this is definitely one of the IPO to look after. Second will be TikTok. I think
everyone would know about TikTok, right?
I think this doesn't need much introduction from me or Loui. The name explains itself.
Yep.
And of course, Ant Group, which is the spin-off of Alibaba Finance segment. It is one of the biggest microfinance app in China and also in Asia, to be honest. And if you are not familiar with, Touch and Go is actually collaborating with Ant Group, so we will have all this application. That is why Touch and Go became so advanced in the past 2-3 years, if you notice. And of course here, would you want to talk about some on CATL here?
Yeah, maybe MeShare and also CATL is also one of the companies that you can actually monitor for.
I mean, CATL is actually the battery producer for Tesla and EV.
Yeah.
Not particularly EV, but not particularly Tesla, sorry, but it provides a lot of battery, the lithium battery for the EV company as well. And I mean, we have so much company here, but we'll be sure to let you know when the good company comes, and we are looking towards to the Q1 of 2024, where we have Lalatech, which is Lalamove.
Yep.
Media is actually a Fortune 500 company. I think to those who are watching at your home right now, if you look around, there are a few electric appliance which is branded by Media here. And China SF Holding is actually the logistic company similar to what JNT was doing. What's JNT doing? So I think it's a very interesting market over there, Loui.
Yep. I think for Q1 itself, we will certainly come out with some good live stream to talk about Lalatech, Media. I mean, China and SF Holdings, that is related to JNT.
Correct.
So if JNT can actually perform well in the first few days, I think both of them should be able to do similar if they are priced in that range of fairly of in terms of the valuations. So,
and the difference is, I think with Hong Kong IPO these days, they are giving us very short notice on the IPO listing. So stay tuned with us. So whenever there is a live stream or there is a notification pop up, be sure to tune into our live stream to study more on the latest IPO for Hong Kong.
Yeah, in the latest IPO Hong Kong, upcoming IPO, you can actually look into this website called AA Stocks or follow us on our Telegram, and also sometimes we will be posting out, what to look for in terms of IPO markets. So our app itself will have a lot of news to update you all for IPOs.
And of course, we have this QR code here. Join our IPO Heroes Telegram group, and I think our moderator and our colleagues there will update you with all the IPO information that you need. And of course, we'll be happy to share more with you if there's any more IPO coming up on the pipeline. So, okay.
So I think just now we have mentioned a lot of times on some of the features and also some of the things that not many people can look into when you are looking into a Bursa market. You can't find those information. But in our app itself, we can find a lot of information that is related to Hong Kong IPO, and that will give you an advantage to subscribing to a right IPO. So as I mentioned, first of all, you need to understand the business of the IPO, whether is it exciting or not. Secondly, is the earnings capability, earnings capacity of them, and where do you find it is in the prospectus. And when you where do you want to look for the prospectus? It's very tough to go through the Hong Kong exchange to look at it. Just by one click, we can actually look into our app.
If you look at in our M Plus Global app here, this is the IPO section. If you press into the IPO section here, let us see. Okay, this is Shenghui. Shenghui is actually oversubscribed by 6.5 times right now as we're speaking. Wow.
I think just now it was just about 4 times, and
in the morning?
morning was about 3. So right now the pickup of hype is coming in.
The demand is coming in right now.
And normally it comes in very excitingly after it is near towards the towards the end of so the about 15 12 hours, then you will get more and more. So right now it is 6 times oversubscription by the Shenghui cleaners.
And of course, K-Cash is actually oversubscribed by 3.6 times. So these are some of the features we actually offer to, and some of the information that actually you can take advantage of when you are picking your IPOs. And actually, if you press into Shenghui, you can see all the basic information here. How much is the lot size, what's the offer price, what's the minimum amount of one lot. And if you scroll down,
prospectus is over there,
prospectus is over here, click to view, and actually, you have the prospectus on your screen, on your fingertips. So this is actually a very convenient to all our users here. Okay, and of course you have all the information you need, including the sponsor, the underwriter. So check out on your M Plus Global app.
Yeah, I think just now we have mentioned the margin financing. On that part, right, not every companies we will be providing you with the margin financing. So some companies, we think that the risk is slightly higher. We might not do margin financing. So it is not, one size fit all thing. So for I think Wuxi XDC that time we open up is because when we see the risk level is slightly lower, therefore maybe we can open up. But certainly when you are investing using margin financing, definitely there will be a risk, and definitely there will be a interest being charged to you as well.
Correct.
So that's why the fee coming in very important. From 5 days, they are charging you just 2 days of interest. And you can use back the money straight away after 2 days. So that is the idea here behind the margin financing. So not all companies are coming with this margin financing feature.
But I think going into, we are towards the end of 2023. I think going into 2024, it will be a very exciting year for Hong Kong IPO yet again. If Hang Seng recovers a little bit back to the 20,000 key level, I think there will be much more companies looking to get listed, get the outside money to be on the Hong Kong exchange once again.
Yeah, and I read some news to say about what China is actually banning companies to be listed on Shanghai or China markets, and therefore a lot of companies are actually flowing their company to Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and therefore that could be a very, very interesting 2024 next year.
Yeah, and we just went through some of the upcoming IPO, and we can see there's a lot of big names being there already, and we can't wait to have this IPO presented to you when they are ready, and we hope you will be there again when we go live next time to talk about IPO.
Yes, definitely. So I think let's do some sum up for today's session. Basically, I think Hong Kong IPO Frenzy thing is related to what we want to project to you. The objective today is actually to tell you about how exciting is the Hong Kong IPO markets, and secondly is that despite the overall market conditions is not very good, but over the past 10 or 11 companies that has been listed, about 8 companies
actually is profitable.
Correct.
So actually, if you get an allotment for all the IPO in the past 10 to 11 company, you actually make money out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's about
that's a pretty
averagely
good
30%, no, 30% of the returns and about 80% chance of winning, on the
That's
first
a
day.
pretty good statistic if you
yeah.
ask me. So it's definitely something to keep in view on the Hong Kong IPO.
And
And
certainly by using the margin financing, it will improve your success rate.
Correct.
And with the information that we had just said, the subscription rate inside our app, that is, I think, a wonderful indicator. If you notice that if we have that information in Bursa Malaysia, it would be wonderful that we know how much money we should be putting in.
Yep.
Instead of just putting
Blindly.
one lot or two lots,
Correct.
might as well we just put more money into some of the companies.
if we have sufficient information to do certain
Yes,
things, I think we'll come out much more advantageous out of
Correct.
compared to others. And I think that's about it for
Yeah.
today's live stream. And we would like to open the floor up for some question. And before you leave, please scan this QR code to join our IPO Heroes Telegram group. We will be updating all our information regarding to IPO, regarding to what's in the news on new offering, and we hope to see you there.
Okay, maybe we can have 1 minute to see whether is there any question.
Yep.
Okay, I think if there's no questions, then we end the streaming tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to